Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
Hi, I'm Jessica Faust.
We are literary agents who have taken our popular blog to YouTube to discuss all things publishing. Today we're being a little motivating. It is going to be a quicker motivational video. I mean, there's a ton of advice online, right? Like everybody's got a writing tip. Everybody has the right way to do it.
Well, there's workshops and there's programs and there's classes and
right.
there's...
And we're guilty of that too. Like we feed into that as well. Like we are always giving our tips and tricks, but I think the wealth of information that one can access on how to write and how to get published now can get people feeling all self-conscious about what they're doing. So we wanted to talk about how there is no such thing as the right way to write or the right way to get published.
No, yeah, I mean, you know, I get it. Everybody wants the magic bullet that if I do this or, you know, and they take all of these tips like you have to start with the action or it has to be, I mean, the conversation about, you know, present tense, past tense, first person, second person, third person, like, I'm tired.
Dialogue tags. I think I've said it before on the channel. One of my professors like, never use the word said, like all of these annoying, stupid rules.
Yeah, and everybody makes them into the never rule. And yeah. I'm not a big fan of the never rule.
Well, they're born out of fear. They're
yes.
born out of fear that something somebody is doing is going to get you rejected or ruin your chances at getting published. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, it's very rare that one little thing in your writing could tank your career, right?
Well, I mean, you know, first person, you know, third person, present tense, past tense, there are definitely preferences to those. But how often have you read, I mean, I don't notice it. To be honest, I don't tend to notice and register if it's first person, third person, past tense, present tense, unless it's not working.
A client asked me the other day, like, what do you prefer? I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess it has to be the right thing for the story, right? And yeah. I mean, I had to like, actually, it set me on a little spin. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at my favorite books. I'm like, what do I prefer? Like looking at what they did.
I don't.
It just depends on the book, right? It comes down to the character and like, what are you doing? Like if you have, and maybe this is a whole video that we can talk about point of view, but what are you trying to do with your main character? Is it somebody that we can be close to? Is somebody we have to fear for their life where we can expect them to die? Like all of that plays into it. Like plot plays into point of view, plays into character, and it's very fluid.
I think one of the reasons people say don't write first person, write third person is because one of the mistakes I've seen over the years with first person is it comes from a debut author and it's too in the author's head.
Yeah.
So I can't follow the story because it's like me saying, and then I was running down the street and I went really fast and I saw a cat and you're like, what does the street look like? Who are you?
It's hard though, like to get into that main character's head and experience everything around them, but to move the plot forward while you're doing that. So I would agree that's probably one of the hardest things. And then in terms of tense, just stick to a tense because I see so many people do past tense and switch to present tense. I mean, do present tense and switch to past tense. Well, vice versa, really. And that drives me bananas.
Yeah, so it's not really that there's a right or wrong way to do these things. It's that a lot of these messages about what you can't do come out of what has consistently been a problem. And when writers want to know what doesn't work, and we don't really have an answer, what we often come is, well, what we often see is not working, but that's not a universal answer.
Right. So I think what we're trying to say is like, it's so easy to absorb all of that, to absorb all of the tips, the tricks, the negativity, anything. But the best thing that you can do is write the best book that you can write and trust your process while doing it. I mean, even in terms of, I mean, we talked a lot about the nitty gritty of technically writing, but even when you write, how often you write, where you write, like all of that is online. Make sure you write every day. Don't write every day. Like all of that is conflicting and frustrating to hear constantly. And I think, I mean, as a writer, I also fall into, I'm not doing this right. Like something's going wrong here. It's not working. What am I doing wrong? How can I be more like that person? But the best thing we can do is just trust our process.
Yeah, and you have to own you.
Yeah.
You know, you do you, but then own it. Like if you're
I-
gonna do it, own it.
Okay, I saw this thing on Instagram and I wish I screenshot it, but it was basically saying that some people will never love their art because they created it. So they'll look at their art and they'll say, if I was better, then this would be better. If I could do this better, then this would be better. But what they're missing is them on the page. Like they made that art. Does that make sense? So like
Yeah.
we can want to be more like Stephen King, but we're missing our voice, our perspective, our tone, our style when we try to emulate that. We're losing what we bring to the table.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a client recently. We were doing some revisions and the book is in present tense. And I pointed this out that it was in present tense. And I said, you know, that could be tough.
Yeah.
And her response was, I know that, I'm good with it. And I think that was the greatest thing. And I felt the need to share that with her because I wasn't sure if she knew, but I also wasn't asking her to change it.
Right.
And because I like it, obviously. But I loved that. I loved that she was like, I know, this is the book. And it works. Absolutely, it works. And I think that's the most important thing is also you're not going to please everybody, including yourself sometimes.
Yeah, and it's hard to, I think it's hard to remember that, right? And like constantly remind yourself of it. It's easy to fall into that comparison or whatever. But again, the right way to write does not exist. Like there's no such thing, and we just have to trust our process.
Yeah, and you know what? What you have to do is just get better. The truth is, it's not about that there's a right way to do it or a wrong way. It's about if you're going to do it, you're going to own it, and then you're going to make it the best it's going to be. And that's what the right way is, just making it the best.
It's true, because if we're getting involved in all the other stuff, we are losing our own vision and we're losing really the path to success that we were on. Because if we're trying to step onto somebody else's path, then
yeah, I really believe that. And I've seen that from a lot of authors who really have lost their way because they decided their way wasn't working. And rather than make it work or hone it, they decided to completely drop everything and just do it somebody else's way. And that was the bigger mistake.
Once you lose your voice, it's like it's done.
Yep.
Well, we hope this was motivating and helpful and helps keep some folks on track. We'll see you back here next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, we offer a number of great workshops through Speakeasy and other platforms.
These workshops have been a fun new thing that we've been doing, not just me and James, but others at BookEnds, where we work with you interactively on critiques, queries, and insights and answer questions into publishing. So you can find out more information on our website or through speakeasy.com, and we hope you'll sign up. Bye.